Sharp Game here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And today I'm going to talk about some of the costly mistakes that a lot of guys make, especially if they're a rapper, entertainer, athlete, or anybody that's in the public eye. Anybody that's of high status in American society. And you know, I think a lot of these guys really think that these women that they meet on their way up to success, or being a star, or of star status, I call it star power. These women that they meet, I think a lot of these guys think that these women actually like them. And I think a lot of these guys, they've drunk too much of their own Kool-Aid. And that has a lot to do with them being caught up. And I'm not going to call any names, because you look at the news, you see it on social media. You know who these guys are for the past 12 to 24 months, or even further back than that. There's always some comedian, there's always some actress or entertainer or rapper. They get caught up out there. They get exploited for money all the time. You know, there's always some guy that's trying to sneak around as a public figure with other women. And I just never really understand why would you think you can sneak around if you're a celebrity? I mean, there's cameras everywhere today. And some of these guys are having relationships with women that have nothing to lose in most cases. They're not entertainers. They're not rappers, actresses, or anything at all. They're not in the entertainment business. They're not in show business. And they'll have relationships with women that are bottom feeders in a lot of cases. So it's like, I could see why they would get caught up. And then they'll go to parties. They'll go to places. They'll have a lot of times, I've been to a lot of these parties. A lot of times they're private parties at mansions, or they'll go to the Playboy Mansion. And a lot of these women that show up there, they're bottom feeders. They're not women of status. There's some there, but very few. The majority are just the average woman. So that's another reason why a lot of entertainers get caught up, because if you go to those big mansion parties, those women come there to have sex. And they know that before they even leave their house. But to an entertainer, to a woman looking at an entertainer, a rapper, singer, actress, you're a come up to her. You're like a big fish. You're a check. And see, a lot of guys make the mistake that, you know, they'll treat a woman like she's a hoe, even though she might be one for sure. And I've never approached women like that, even regardless of how I think about her as a person. I never treat her like a hoe. Because the reason why I never done that is because I look at it like, you know, how you treat me and how you respond to me is what you're going to get back. And I know when you leave, you could say anything. It could go bad. I mean, women in society, let's just be honest, they have the upper hand in most cases. The laws are biased. And depending on what state you live in, a woman don't have to have any proof. I mean, she can just say, hey, you raped me. She don't have to have no bruises, no nothing. No physical, marks at all. So me just knowing that by itself, and especially if this story gets out in the media, and if you're a black male, for example, and if a white woman says, hey, he raped me 7 times, 10 times, or 40 times, and I kept going back, majority of people are going to believe it. Because American society is built on lies and propaganda. So with me just knowing that, I play the game a little bit different. And I got a cousin that, if he meets a woman and if he thinks she's a hoe or she's loose, been around with a lot of guys, he'll automatically start talking. His whole language, his whole dialect, his whole persona will change. He'll start talking to her very aggressive, right? But I don't do that because I look at it like, I'm not really trying to give a woman any ammunition to use against me. So even if something goes down with a woman physically, which is happened in the past, and in certain cases, after the fact, after the night was over and everybody moved on, I found out that some of these women were loose. They've been with a lot of guys. And in some cases, me and probably a couple of my friends could have been on the news, getting caught up like a lot of these entertainers. But one of the reasons why it never happened, because see, every woman, I don't care where she's from, no woman likes feeling like she's been taken advantage of or feeling like you got over on her. So every woman that leaves my presence, she's not going to have any type of remorse. She's not going to feel bad about being around me. Because what happens in most cases, see, a lot of these athletes, they'll have sex with a woman like a rag doll and get all his friends to join in on the action because he thinks she likes him. And if the woman has any type of remorse after leaving his presence or leaving the next day, whenever she leaves, 9 times out of 10, she's going to tell one of her friends or family member or somebody that she's close to, one of her peers, what happened. And they're going to whisper in their ear and they're going to influence her to do something that's not in your best interest. This is why I don't treat people in a way that I think they are. I don't treat people the way I think they are. I treat them better than they are. Because I don't want to get bite in the ass in the long run. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way because I almost got caught up in the past. Because I used to think, hey, if she's a hoe, I treat her like a hoe. But I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. This is why a lot of athletes and entertainers get caught up. Because they treat people the way they are. But I treat people the way I want to. I treat them the way I want to treat them, not the way they are. So if she's a hoe, I ain't gonna treat her like a hoe. I'll treat her the way I want. I treat her the way I want to treat her. And it don't got nothing to do with her at all. This has to do with me. Because I play the game a little bit different from a lot of guys. And that's another thing you have to learn, like I did. If everyone's going right, you go left. If people are going right, you go left. If everything is clockwise, go counterclockwise. Do everything in reverse. You know, almost everything that you want to do, if you want to have massive success, if you don't want to get caught up, if you want to stay 2 to 5 steps ahead of the game, you got to always go about doing things and saying things in like total reverse from everybody else. Because if you follow the crowd, eventually you will get caught up. You're going to be paying out money. You're going to be embarrassed on television, or you're going to end up in jail, or you're going to end up paying spousal support, child support. You're going to end up, you know, in a position where it's like, how did I get here? And whether you did it or didn't do it, if you end up in jail, it doesn't matter. Because if you got to go through the court system or the judicial system, it's not about justice or what's fair or what's true or what's false. It's not about that at all. So, hey, this is a mistake that a lot of celebrities and entertainers make that I wanted to make you aware of. And even some of my friends have made this mistake. And I think I was lucky not to get caught up a long time ago, because me and my friends, we could have gotten caught up with, you know, just being around a lot of women years ago. I mean, today, I know at least 6 to 10 women could easily put me on Front Street, say, hey, he raped me. You know, could say anything. And they'll do it because of money. Money talks out here. But whether you did it or didn't do it, whatever the case is, no one's going to believe you in most cases. And what you got out here today is you got hoes and prostitutes. Most men can be bought, and most women will do almost anything for money. So you got to understand the game and know how to play the game. And I write about this in my books. So go cop that. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.